Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with an extremely out-of-print box, ripe for reissue, which, of course, will never happen, but I just have to point it out because it is such a great set. It's probably the best ever set for interesting repertoire. It is this, 50 years of the Orchestre Philharmonique de Liège. Yay! And it's on the Cypres label. Oh my goodness, it's just unbelievable. All the stuff that's in here. There's so much juicy stuff in here that's fascinating that you're never going to hear anywhere else and probably can't anymore because half of it's unavailable. Some of it's still around. I mean, it was released on Cypres. I think some of it also came out on maybe Timpani or Repertoire or some other labels. I mean, this stuff was all over the place, and it is gathered together. It was gathered together in this 50 CD box. It was a special edition. And, you know, some special editions, they just shouldn't ever not be special. I mean, they should just stay around because they don't advertise them and nobody knows that they exist. And they release them in limited quantities and then they sell out, fortunately, if they're lucky, and they're gone. And then what's the point? You know, they're sitting around on a shelf, like mine, for example. A wonderful, lovely shelf. It's there. And I get to listen to it. And those few people who I admit to my inner sanctum may listen to some of it, or some people may have some of the individual discs. But the world at large never finds out. And it's a tragedy because the reason this exists, Mr. Philharmonique de Liège, or whatever you're called here. Yes, the Philharmonique de Liège. Philharmonique. The reason that this exists is to tell the world. And how's the world going to find out if it's not available? Right? So there it is. All right, let's see what's in it. Because it really is, oh baby, this is good stuff. We'll take out the little bookie. And here we go. Now, not everything is unusual, but most of it is. And that's the point. I mean, someone says, oh my God, look at this. The first thing you see, Joseph Jongen. I like Jongen. You know, the Symphony Concertante everybody loves for organ and orchestra. The only piece of his that gets played, but he wrote lots of beautiful music. We get his concerto for harp. Harp concertos. I love harp concertos. Harp and orchestra. It's wonderful. Then Franck, the Chasseurs Maudits, Les Aeolides, the Symphonic Variations, and Les Djinns with Aldo Ciccolini, all directed by Paul Strauss. Now these, some of these anyway, were EMI. Well, the Symphonic Variations in Les Djinns was from EMI, so they licensed it. So they licensed some things. They got some things together. That may be why the whole big set isn't around anymore, because they had a license, and who knows? I don't know. It's terrible. Franck, Psyché, the complete Psyché, again with Paul Strauss, and that was an EMI recording. Then the Jongen Troisième Suite pour Orchestra dans le style ancien. It has a symphony concerto grosso, a sarabande, a minuet, and a divertimento. These are also with Paul Strauss. Because remember, this is also about the history of the orchestra. So it starts back a bit and works its way forward. The Jongen in CD3, Passacaglia and Gigue. Okay. And then we have Gossec. Gossec's Requiem. A big, huge piece is the Gossec Requiem. It's a big sucker. My goodness, it's got, it's a big, long, crazy thing directed by Jacques Houtman. So that's fun. And his symphony for 17 parts. That's nice. Gossec was an interesting composer, by the way. I kind of like his stuff. Probably because he was a vibrato guy. He liked it, that's a whole other story. But he notated it a lot. Anyway, let's see. Brahms, Hungarian Dances. All right, we get the complete Hungarian Dances with Paul Strauss, and nobody's going to care. But they're nicely done, and it's fine. And the Hariano Suite by Kodály. And then Wilhelm Kösters. Oh, there's someone you probably haven't heard of. His Eulenspiegel die Geuss. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's an Eulenspiegel. We all know who Eulenspiegel is. And so it's the Eulenspiegel of someplace else. So this was on EMI. And more Kösters. Oh, more Eulenspiegel. Oh, it's his number 2, part of that. And then we have Grétry. Forget how I pronounce things, by the way. I don't know what I'm doing here. Have no clue. So just keep that in mind. The Danses Villageoises, which are delightful, and Cephale et Procris, the suite de ballet, and then some overtures from Richard the Lionhearted and Les Mariages Samnites and L'Épreuve Villageoise. Okay. Then we have, let's see, celebrated marches by all kinds of different people. These are normal marches, by Strauss and Borodin and Saint-Saëns, Berlioz and Chabrier and Prokofiev and, that kind of stuff. Then the Enescu Romanian Rhapsodies. And then CD 9, Arthur de Grief. Yay! De Grief's Piano Concerto. And the Grieg Piano Concerto with Jean-Claude Van den Einden piano and Pierre Bartholomé. Remember him? He's popping up now. And then we've got the Franck Symphony in D minor with Bartolome. That was on Richard Carr, and that was a good performance. And Villalobos Choros 12. Whoa! Yeah, I remember that too. That was a fun record. I still have the original CD from that. Then we've got the Schubert Symphony No. 10 reconstruction thing, the 3-movement one. And Jongen, the Symphony Concertant for organ and orchestra with Hubert Schönbrut and René de Fossé conducting. Strauss, an Alpine Symphony with Bartholomé. Well, that's fun. And then a disc called Du crépuscule de l'aurore, from dusk to dawn. Oh, the poetry. It just makes me melt. It really does. Magnard's Hymn to Venus. Dupuis' Macbeth, Paraphrase Symphonique. Sibelius's Tapiola and the Busoni Symphonic Nocturne. How's that for a collection? Oh, baby. Number 4, Henri Pousseur. He's an avant-gardist. Couleur Croisée and Jean-Louis Robert Aquatilis, also with Bartholomé. Then we've got all of their Guillaume Lecoy stuff. That was also on Richard Carr. Yes, it was. All the 2 discs of Guillaume Lecoy. I don't need 3 discs. Wow. I don't think I need to go into all of that. He was a good composer. Very Frankian. He died extremely young. And so there isn't a lot. But there's, 3 discs of it here. And Charles Tournemire. Oh, the Tournemire recordings. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy. I mean, they never should have gone out of print. These were released. Oh, it's Ada, but they were on, I think, Astray at one point. I don't even remember, but I have the original discs. Symphony No. 7 and Symphony No. 3, the Danse de la Vie and the Moscou, which is gorgeous. It should be performed more often. And then the Brahms Schoenberg Piano Quartet. This is all with Pierre Bartholomé. And a few more Brahms Hungarian dances, like we really need them. And Tournemire Symphony No. 6, which has a marvelous singing part for Jesus. So there you go. And then Tournemire Symphony No. 5 and No. 8. We ought to do a Tournemire cycle, just release it all. Were all the ones that they did. I don't think they did them all. But, they didn't do No. 1 or No. 2. Yeah, they did. I don't know. Beautiful stuff. So there you go. Then we have Frederick van Rossum, his violin concerto, No. 1 and No. 2 with Peter Zazowski and Bartholomé. And some Mozart. Well, Mozart violin concertos with Régis Pasquier. And, no one's going to care about that. But you get the complete Mozart violin concertos with Régis Pasquier. I mean, they're good. They're fine, but that's not why you buy the set, is it? And you also get the Symphony Concertante for violin and viola with Régis and Bruno, the Pasquiers. Yeah, okay, there's that. Dvorak Symphony No. 7 and the Wood Dove. I mean, you do have to get some normal stuff too, right? Just to show that the orchestra can do it. The Sibelius 4 Legends. This was a good set. It was a good performance of the 4 Legends and the violin concerto, again with Régis Pasquier, and then Henri Pousseur, Dichter Liebes Regentraum, Dichter Liebes Regentraum. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever the hell that is. It has a soprano, a baritone, a piano, 2 pianos, and a choir, and God knows what else. Adolphe Bierent, Biarent, Biarent. This guy was fun. This is good stuff, juicy stuff. We have his Trenmor symphonic poem after the legend of Ossian, and then his symphony in D minor, and 2 sonnets for violin, cello, and orchestra. Oh, it's lovely stuff. And Vierne, his symphony in A minor. Look at that. And his poem for piano and orchestra, his orchestral stuff. And Vieuxtemps, 2 violin concertos with Gérard Poulet. and his Greeting to America. Hi, say hello back, everybody. And the Fantasy for Violin and Orchestra. Then we've got War Vieuxtemps, the Fantasia Appassionata for Violin and Orchestra. We're up to CD 31. And then Le Duc, Jacques Le Duc, pardon me, his Spring Overture and his Symphony, and his symphonic sketch, Spring. It's another spring, a symphony. No, the summer. It's the Summer Overture, the Symphony, and Spring, a symphonic sketch. There you go. This is all with Bartholomé. Philippe Beuzman's, his Violin Concerto, his Conversions for Orchestra, and Concerto for Piano and Orchestra. Then more Biarante. Oh, his poem Héroïque, the Rhapsody Wallonne for Piano and Orchestra, and Conte d'Orient, the Tales of the Orient. Oh, is that fun? It's sort of like a Scheherazade knockoff. Oh, it's great. And then we've got something by Pierre Bartholomé, Fredon et Taraboust's Serenade for Grand Orchestra and his Humoresque, and André Souris, his symphonies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever those are, Le Marchand d'Images, Cantate Rurale, and Danserie de la Renaissance Française. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Émile Mathieu, Freyhir, Poème lyrique et symphonique. It's both. It's both lyrique et symphonique. You got to have both. So that's fun, with lots of soloists and people like that. And then Jean-Marie Rennes, Espace-Temps. Okay, space-time. Well, thanks to Einstein, we have that. And Rudolf Kettelborn, I've heard some of his stuff. The Concerto in One Movement for cello and orchestra. And then Dutilleux, Tout le monde lointain, the cello concerto. Thank you. And André Caplet, the Epiphany, Fresque musicale d'après une légende éthiopienne pour violoncelle und orchestre. Yeah, right, sure. Whatever. With Marc Coppi, who's a fabulous cellist. Oh my goodness. With Pascal Roffet, direction. Yes. Number 38, Thierry Escaich. Escaich. Oh well. Concerto for Organ and Orchestra, and the Kyrie of an Imaginary Mass, First Symphony. It's his first symphony with Oliver Latry and other people. Someone's playing the piano. It's Fantasy Concertante for piano and orchestra. Whew. I mean, isn't this just unbelievable? Stuff you've never heard, stuff you've never heard of, stuff you might like, stuff you might not like, but all worth listening to. Edward Lalo, cello concerto, his symphony, and Le Roi Dix overture under Jean-Pierre Heck, with David Cohen, cello. And another Jongen, Komala, his Prix de Rome cantata for mixed chorus and soloists. And it's long. Oh my goodness, it's 40 minutes. Wow. Clair de Lune, version for orchestra. Yay. Benoit Mernier, An die Nacht, Tonight. Yes, and then Schumann, the cello concerto with Anne Gastinel, and the Liszt Piano Concerti 1 and 2 with Claire-Marie Leguet, piano with Louis Langret directing. Poulenc, yeah, the two piano concerto, the piano concerto, and the Aubade with Eric Lesage under Stéphane Deneuve. That was on RCA, BMG. I have the single disc of that too, and it's quite fine. It's a wonderful disc. Absolutely wonderful disc. CD 43, we're almost done. Hang in there, folks. More Mozart. Okay, Horn Concerti. Well, with Nico DeMarchi, whatever his name is, Horn, under Jean-Pierre Heck. Okay. Sylvain Dupuis. Let's see, we've got his Pour un Drame, Overture Symphonique. Macbeth, Paraphrase Symphonique. The Invocation for cello and orchestra, the Prelude and Dance for violin and orchestra, the Suite in D minor, his Legend for cello, his Poem for cello, another suite, my God, Moina, symphonic poem, all these people with David Cohen and Jean-Pierre Heck, whoa, baby. CD 45, Franck, another symphony in D minor, all right, with Louis Langret. I mean, again, these are fine, you know. They're fine. This was on Accord, Universal Accord. And the Chausson Symphony, which is always great to have because we never get enough recordings of the Chausson Symphony. Dewey, the Ravel Piano Concerti, and the Schulhoff Concerto for Piano and Petite Orchestra with Claire-Marie Leguet and Louis Langret. And this is also Accord. And this was nice to have because the Schulhoff is so much fun. Mozart, Clarinet Concerto, Weber, Clarinet Concerto, Rossini, Introduction, Theme and Variations for Clarinet and Orchestra, Max Bruch, Concerto for Clarinet, Viola, and Orchestra, Extrait. Oh, one movement of it. All right. with Jean-Luc Votano, clarinet, and Arnaud Tourette, viola, with Pascal Roffet. CD 48, we're coming up to the end. Here it comes. Jongen, the Symphony Concertante for organ and orchestra, another one of those, I think. Saint-Saëns, organ symphony with Oliver Latre and Pascal Roffet. And finally, CD 49, Mio, Scaramouche, the Concerto for Percussion and Small Orchestra, the Clarinet Concerto, the Carnaval d'Aix for piano and orchestra with Paul Mayer and Eric Lesage and Fabrice Moretti and all these people, and Pascal Dusapin, 7 solos for orchestra in Extract. God knows why, just because they could. Finally, CD 50, Leo Ferré, Love, Requiem, Le Mort des Loups, the Death of Wolves, Moussassine, Moussaine, yes, whatever that is, under Leo Ferré. Fine, good for them. Then there's Generation 2001, a rap odyssey. Okay. And Meum Monster Meum, whatever that is. Okay, so there's avant-garde stuff. Yes, it's very avant. So there it is. 50 years of this absolutely lovely orchestra, the Orchestre Philharmonique de Liège, with this wild assortment of interesting repertoire. El Boxeo. You may see it around. Don't get your hopes up. I mean, it was out of print when I got it. I managed to nab a copy. And so, I was just luck because I didn't know it existed. Who knew? Why would they tell anyone? Why should they? It's a secret. But it's still wonderful. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Ripe for reissue. Take care.